Summer of 216 BCE, Apulia, southern Italy. On the scorched plains near the village of Cannae, two colossal armies faced each other, the legions of the Roman Republic and the Carthaginian forces led by the legendary general Hannibal. This encounter would become known as the Battle of Cannae, one of the bloodiest and most tactically brilliant battles of the ancient world. Hannibal and his coalition of Carthaginians and allies surrounded and nearly annihilated the numerically superior Roman army under consuls Lucius Aemilius, Paulus, and Gaius Terentius Varro. Cannae remains celebrated as one of history's greatest tactical victories and simultaneously one of Rome's most crushing defeats. Hannibal's triumph sent shockwaves across the ancient world, forever cementing his reputation as one of history's greatest commanders. To understand how these armies clashed, we must explore the roots of the conflict. The Second Punic War, which set the stage for Cannae, had deep and long-standing causes. In 219 BCE, Carthaginian commander Hannibal Barca, ruling over Spanish territories, besieged Saguntuma Romang ally on the Iberian Peninsula. Rome demanded Hannibal's surrender, but he refused. War became inevitable. Hannibal struck at the very heart of Roman power. In 218 BCE, he embarked on an unprecedented campaign, crossing the Pyrenees, braving the Alps, and invading northern Italy with a multinational army that included war elephants. The Romans were blindsided by the northern invasion. They suffered heavy defeats at the Trebia River and Lake Trasimene. Hannibal's early victories shook Rome to its core. In response, the Senate appointed Quintus Fabius Maximus as dictator, a seasoned commander nicknamed Cunctator, the Delayer. He adopted a war of attrition, avoiding large battles, harassing Hannibal's forces, cutting supplies, and steering clear of direct confrontation. Fabius' cautious approach worked strategically but was unpopular. Romans craved a decisive victory. Meanwhile, anxiety grew. If Hannibal remained undefeated, Rome's allies might waver. When Fabius' dictatorship ended, Rome chose a more aggressive path. In 216 BCE, consuls Varro and Paulus raised a massive army, the largest in Roman history. Polybius records that, in panic, the Romans fielded 8 legions, around 80,000 troops, including allies. Never before had so many soldiers gathered for battle. This massive force marched to Apulia, where Hannibal had seized a Roman supply depot near Cannae. The Romans were determined to fight a decisive engagement. Command was divided. Varro pushed for immediate action, seeking a quick victory, while Paulus advised caution. By tradition, consuls alternated command daily, and on that fateful morning, the army was under Varro's leadership. Varro's bold decision would shape history. Early on August 2, 216 BCE, the armies lined up on the Aufidus plain. The Romans had overwhelming numbers. Estimates suggest up to 86,000 men, including allies, against Hannibal's 50,000. Varro arranged his legions in an unusually deep formation at the center, a dense mass of heavy infantry meant to break through Hannibal's lines. Hannibal, however, had set a trap. He positioned weaker Gallic and Iberian units in the center, slightly advanced, while elite African infantry remained hidden on the flanks. Strong cavalry secured both wings. Light Numidian cavalry on one side, heavy Spanish Gallic horsemen on the other. This setup enabled Hannibal's double envelopment strategy: lure the Romans into the weakened center, then strike the flanks and encircle the enemy. Before battle, Hannibal lifted morale with humor. His officer, Gisco, marveled at the size of the Roman army. Hannibal smiled. Even more remarkable is that not one of them is named Gisco. Laughter rippled through the Carthaginian ranks. The Romans advanced, crashing into Hannibal's center. Under pressure, the Gallic and Iberian troops gradually retreated, drawing the Romans deeper. Overconfident, Roman soldiers stretched their lines, leaving the flanks exposed. At the decisive moment, Hannibal signaled his elite troops. African infantry struck the flanks while Carthaginian cavalry, having already routed the Roman horsemen, attacked the rear. The trap closed. The Roman army was fully encircled. Cavalry played a pivotal role. On the left, heavy cavalry under Hasdrubal crushed the Roman horsemen. On the right, Numidian light cavalry engaged allied Roman cavalry. Once the flanks were neutralized, Carthaginian cavalry struck the rear of the infantry. The Roman legions were compressed into a motionless, disorganized mass. Command broke down, morale plummeted. Surrounded on all sides, they could neither advance nor retreat. The battle became a slaughter. By evening, resistance ended. The Roman army had effectively ceased to exist. The news of Cannae's defeat rocked Rome. Never before had Romans, with the city itself secure, felt such terror. Overnight, both consular armies were lost. Camps, commanders, soldiers all vanished on foreign soil, on Apulia's dusty plains. Panic gripped the city. Livy reports fear swept through every household. A general mourning was declared. Human sacrifices were performed to appease the gods. 2 men buried alive in the Forum, 2 drowned in the Adriatic Sea. Meanwhile, Hannibal celebrated his triumph. The battlefield belonged to him. Thousands of corpses littering the plains, and the Roman supply train fell into Carthaginian hands. Hannibal sent his brother Mago to Carthage with news of the great victory. Mago dramatically emptied a sack of gold rings from slain Roman horsemen before the Senate. Thousands of noble Romans had perished. The victory sparked a domino effect across Italy. Capua, Rome's second-largest city, opened its gates. Other cities and tribes, from the Samnites to the Lucanians, shifted allegiance. Even abroad, Macedon's Philip V allied with Hannibal, starting the First Macedonian War against Rome. The conflict's geography expanded. Yet, despite the disaster, Rome did not despair. Hannibal, assessing his exhausted army, did not march on the city. He offered peace, but the Senate refused to even hear him. In Rome, speaking the word peace publicly was banned. Varro, the surviving consul, returned as a citizen, not a coward. The Senate thanked him for not giving in to despair. Rome rallied. New armies were raised, including slaves, miners, and debtors. Citizens donated gold to armed soldiers. The city united with renewed determination. Young Commander Publius Cornelius Scipio, later called Africanus, gathered the remaining legionaries and swore an oath never to lay down arms, never to abandon Italy, never to surrender. Against all odds, Rome survived Cannae. From the ashes of defeat rose an unbreakable will to win. This marked the turning point of the war. Analysis. Cannae remains one of history's greatest tactical masterpieces. Hannibal annihilated an army nearly twice his size, not by brute force, but through precision, coordination, and ingenuity. The key: lure Romans into the weak center, envelop the flanks, and strike from the rear. The Cannae maneuver. Commanders from Napoleon to Moltke, Sherman to Rommel marveled at it. Today it is studied in military academies worldwide. Cannae also showcased Hannibal's leadership, uniting diverse peoples and forging perfect coordination across cultures and weapon systems. Romans, despite their strength, fell victim to rigidity, dense formations, and command errors. Varro's impatience, ignoring Paulus' caution, proved costly. Historians debate why Hannibal did not march on Rome immediately. His lieutenant Hannibal urged it, famously saying, "You know how to win, but not how to use victory." Scholars remain divided. Some claim Hannibal missed his only chance to end the war. Others note his army was exhausted, lacking siege engines and reinforcements, and a well-defended city awaited. Regardless, Hannibal achieved the most brilliant tactical victory of the ancient world, but could not convert it into a strategic one. Rome learned, adapted, and changed strategy. Instead of seeking decisive battles, it waged a long, grinding war of attrition. 14 years later, the same Publius Cornelius Scipio faced Hannibal at Zama, securing Rome's ultimate victory. Cannae, however, endures as a symbol, the pinnacle of tactical genius and the devastating cost of hubris. A single brilliant mind can shatter an empire, but the will of a people can endure even the greatest defeat. Cannae is not just a battle, it is a lesson for millennia.